Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamika. This is Library of Tomes. Am I ever gonna remember to take that AirPod out? Probably not. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamika. This is Library of Tomes, where I talk to you about all the bookish things going on in my life. I hope you're doing great. How are you? Today we're gonna be doing my March wrap up. I read a lot in March. I read 34 titles. 34 titles in March. It was a lot. I read a lot. A lot of it was manga. I would be lying to you if I tried to say it was like 39 books. I think it was like more like 17 books or 16 books. The rest was manga. So I'm gonna hop in and I'm gonna share what I've read. We'll do like we normally do, and I'll tell you the first half of the month with the ratings that I gave each book, and then we'll jump into the second half of the month, the second half of things that I read, and I'll break it down by category as we do per usual. So the first thing that I read was The Bride Test by Helen Huang. I gave this a 4.5 star. I really liked this one. Then I read Blessed by Malachi. This is by Cheryl Green. I gave this one a 4 star. I really liked that one too. Then I read My Brother's Husband Volume 1. I gave this a 4 star. Then I read Cutie and the Beast Volume. I gave this one a 4 star. So then I read Volumes 1 through 12 of Death Note. Overall, I gave this series a 4 out of 5 stars, or 4.5 out of 5, just because I cannot get over the like 2 volumes that drag in the middle that I absolutely hate, but I love this series. I really do. It's one of my all-time favorites. I think I gave almost every volume a 5 star, except for the 2 that I didn't love. Then I read Control Freak by Brianna Hale. I gave this a 4 star. Then I read The Setup, and I gave this a 4 star. Then I read The Demon King, which I gave a 4.5 star. Then I read Monster Museum, which I gave a 3.5 star. Then I read The Chain, which I gave a 2.5 star. Then I read Deal with a Demon, which I gave a 4 star. And then I read Living with a Sadistic Beast Volume 1, which I left unrated. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. We're gonna do the manga first, just because those are gonna be very easy for me to do, because it's essentially like one series. There's only 7 different titles I need to talk about. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is Beauty Bunny. This is about a girl. I think this is a shoujo, but I haven't double checked. This is in Kindle Unlimited. This is about a girl who is not conventionally attractive. She is kind of a tomboy, and there's this guy at school and he calls her ugly. He's like, "You're ugly, you're not pretty," and it's their romance, actually. So it's a romance between the two of them, and it's very interesting because he gives her a makeover in order to help get her mom's job back, and the girl is super cute, and everyone is like super jealous of her because they don't understand why he's picked her to be his beauty bunny. And they have a really cute relationship. I really liked it. I'm going to be reading the rest of the series. I gave it a 5 star, I think. I really liked that one. Then I read 5 volumes of Blood on the Tracks. So this is the first 5 volumes of this series. Volume 5 actually just came out, and I read it literally the last day of the month. So I read 5 volumes of Blood on the Tracks. I absolutely adore this manga series. This is a horror thriller type of story. It's more of a psychological thriller in my opinion. There's not a ton of like horrific elements other than it just being like really psychologically like not psychologically like thrilling and shit. So yeah, there's only like 1 body horror scene in this. I really cannot tell you much about this series without absolutely just like telling you the entire plot line and everything that happens, but essentially it follows this boy and his mom is extremely overprotective, and she will go to any length to protect her son and to protect their relationship. The mother might be a little insane, but I really love this series. I absolutely love it. I have it pre-ordered out until like volume 8. I love this series so much. I can't recommend it enough, honestly. Then I also read this volume of Orange. This is Future, so this is a continuation after the events of the 2 omnibuses of Orange. This one is essentially the future after the events of Orange and the alternate timeline, and I really enjoyed this. I thought it was super cute. I was a little confused by what timeline we were following half the time, but I enjoyed it. I had a fun time with it. I think I'm gonna settle on a 3.5 star for this. It's not my absolute favorite in the series, but I'm really happy that I read it and that I was able to, you know, get a little bit more from these characters who I love so much. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about the books that I read, and there was actually a good amount of them. The dogs are wanting to be on top of me. I don't know what they're doing. Alright, so the next one I want to talk about is The Demon's Possession. This was a very cute science fiction, like alien demon romance. If you haven't figured it out already, I'm very much in the mood for paranormal romances. I have been riding the paranormal high for a good minute now, and this one is a really fun take on demon romance. It's very interesting. You can very much tell that it's like an alien romance mixed with a demon romance, and it was such an interesting combination, and I really loved it, and I definitely anticipate that I'm going to continue this series. I really liked just about everything about it. I really loved the characters and the storyline and everything that's happening. So we essentially follow our heroine, who is she's been enslaved by this other person on another ship, and she escapes and ends up on this guy named Sebastian's ship, who is a demon, and it's their story as they try to escape from those people. He kind of learns what what is going on with her, and like everything about like their situation, because in this story he is so confused on why she's so ready to just up and die and let herself be killed, and it's because she refuses to go back to the life she had before. And when you read the story, you really feel for her, and I just love her a whole lot. This is in my Demon Romance Rex if you want to check that out. I loved the story. It was super good. So then I read Halfway to the Grave, which is the first book in the Night Huntress series. This is a vampire romance series following Bones and I want to say her name was Kat. I can't remember. But I really loved both of them. I like their characters. Kat is a half human, half vampire. Her mother was raped by a vampire, and so she has a half vampire. Bones is a vampire. She's a vampire hunter because she feels like that's the only way she can like not get close to her mother, but the only way her mother will like love her and accept her for like who she is, because she is like not going and embracing her vampire side. And I really enjoyed Bones and Kat. I love them both, and I definitely anticipate continuing this series. I'm not sure when Bones and Kat are going to get an HEA, but I'm almost positive they're going to, because this is a romance series. I'm very excited about it. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it, and I anticipate that I'm going to continue the series probably in the next couple of weeks. I've just really enjoyed paranormal romance, and you're gonna be able to tell because everything I've read this month has been like paranormal romance, but it's so good. Absolutely love it, and I honestly can't recommend it enough. So then I read Vampire Valentine by Lindsay Sands. This is actually the 12th book in a series, but I just wanted some like short, quick vampire romance, and that's what this was. I enjoyed it, had a good time. Then I read The Darkest Night by Jenna Showalter. This is the first book in the Lords of the Underworld series. This is a demon romance, which I had such a fun time reading. This is so cute. We have Ashton and Maddox, and again, this is in my demon romance recommendations. So essentially Ashton can like hear every voice that's ever been in like a room whenever she's standing there, and Maddox makes those voices go away. Maddox is cursed, and he is forced to die every single night, same way that Pandora died when he caused her to die because he opened Pandora's box. It's very good. It's very interesting. I really loved the concept. I really loved their instant connection to one another, and Ashton's immediate connection of like, you're not going anywhere. You make these voices go away. You are not leaving me. Like, you are never going to leave me ever again. And I absolutely loved them. I loved how quickly like she was like, no, like you're mine now. Like normally I love when like the guys are super alpha and they're super attached, then like, absolutely not, you're not going anywhere, you're mine. But like she did that, and I loved it. I love that about her. I love the fact she was just like, you're not going anywhere. Like, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I'm taking control of the situation. You're never leaving me again. We will have a great life together, essentially. And I just absolutely loved that. She literally would go to the ends of the earth for him, and she proves it in the story, and it's just, I just love them. They're super cute, and I cannot wait to read the rest in the series. I loved it so much I bought the audio for $17, and I will be continuing to buy the audios for this because it's so good. Then I read Dirty Kisses by Kenya Wright. This was the Taboo Book Club book for March. I read this in January, so I reread this. Second time around, I enjoyed it more. I gave it a 4-star. Still can stand by a 3.5 rating though. I gave it a 4-star this time because I enjoyed it more. But the issues I had still stand. I still felt like the ending just didn't make any sense. I felt like it came out of nowhere. I was still confused even though I knew what was going to happen. So the twist was not my favorite. I am continuing this series. I'm buddy reading the other books in the series with Ashley and Izzy and Heather. Ashley was my co-host for Taboo Book Club last month. and she kind of felt the same way I did. We talked about it in depth on the live show if you want to go watch that. I don't really have that many opinions on it though, considering I've already talked about it pretty in depth, and also I've already talked about it once this quarter already. So then I read Voyeur by Fiona Cole. This is a student teacher romance about a girl who is in like some financial trouble. So she ends up working at Voyeur, which is I called it a not sex club, but it is a sex club essentially. The people who have memberships there watch people perform, and that's either solo acts or joint acts with other people. And it's based on what you're comfortable with doing. And it's essentially performing. A lot of the things that happen between our heroine and the people she performs with are faked anyway. So our heroine is working at Voyeur, and our hero sees her at Voyeur and is immediately enamored with her, really likes her. Then he walks in the next, for class, the next day after he sees her, after he has watched her perform at Voyeur, and he is already connected to her and really wants to watch her perform and only watch her perform. And then he finds out, oh, that's my student, because she walks in the door. She has no idea what's going on. She's also his work study. So she really has so many connections to him, and he cannot get away from her, and he's so insanely attracted to her. So yeah, it's a student teacher. I really loved this one. There are trigger warnings in here for sexual assault, molestation, rape, all of that happening as a child. So it happened to a child, so it's in their history. So yeah, this one is such a good story though. I gave this a 4.5. I really loved this one. And I know that I gave a 4.5 and I don't give 5 stars. I don't know what a 5 star is at this point. But yeah, I really loved this, and I highly recommend it. I included it in my student teacher romance recs. So then I also read A Different Blue by Amy Harmon. I'm not going to talk about this one a ton because I talked about it pretty in depth in my student teacher romances actually that I recommended recently. And that this one is just following a girl named Blue who has a very interesting home life and history situation. She falls in love with her high school teacher. They do not have a romance until about 80% into the book. This is a very slow burn student teacher romance. They actually aren't even student teacher by the time that they have a romance, but it does start there. I really liked Blue. She was a super sweet character, and I really liked Darcy, who was our hero. He was honestly a sweet bean, and I just loved him. I loved how much he wanted to protect her and look out for her. So yeah, I really recommend this one too. If you want more thoughts on it, more in depth, again, that's in my student teacher romance recs video. So then I also read 18 by J.A. Huss, which actually was the runner-up for the Taboo Book Club. Me and Charles were debating between Dark Notes and this book, and I am so happy we didn't pick this book because me and Charles both hated this. I gave this a 2 star. This was just so bad. It was just so bad. This girl moves to California from Ohio. In Ohio, she's ahead of all her classes. She's doing great. But then she goes to California and she's behind in everything. So she has to take extra classes, night classes. And her brother-in-law is horrible to her. He is abusive. And he is just horrible. She is basically turning into her niece's mother. She ends up having a romance with the instructor she has. After they meet one time, I don't have words to express this book. They argue over consent. He essentially forces her into having sex with him for the first time. I mean, he doesn't. It's not non-con, it's dubious. And it's just ridiculous. He makes a move on her the day after he meets her for the first time. And he's I'm gonna fuck you on this desk. And she's like, what? And I was also over here excuse me? What? Why are we doing that? I don't understand. Why are we doing this? And it was a lot. I don't know how to, it's a no, okay? Just save yourself the trouble. Don't read it. It was just stupid. I didn't understand the point of any of it. I was nah, no. I'm about to say no on this one. So if this would have been the Taboo Book Club pick, I would have been so pissed, honestly. So that's everything that I read in March. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you read any of these down in the comments. And if you want to read any of them, they are all linked in the description. Even the ones I tell you not to read are linked down there just in case you want to read them. If you're still here, leave me a sunflower emoji down in the comments, and I'll chat with you all in my next video. Bye everyone.